So, I'm a Danish vlogger, as you can hear in my English. And normally I would never use the size bar. Normally I would use the 500 with a 20-inch bar and the 3 is like this. In Denmark we have a lot of different species. We have a lot of species introduced, like this. This is Sitka, and obviously from America, and we have a lot of North American trees we have like almost the same climate zone. So we have Douglas, Sitka, all kinds of trees like that. But we also got a lot of species from original Danish species like oak and beech and harder trees, and we cut a lot of different trees. It's not like, I have a feeling like most loggers in America, they're like West Coast softwood, East Coast hardwood. We don't have that. I get thrown in all kinds of trees all the time. And now it's a big Sitka. And now, just for fun, I was thinking, I always hear like these West Coast loggers, you know, on Facebook and stuff, places like that. When you look at videos, they're like, "Oh, why do you do it so slow? Why you fucking idiots do it so slow? Need bigger bar, bigger chainsaw, and you can do it what faster." And we have a European tradition that we do, like, I guess the East Coast loggers, I never logged in the USA, but there's a lot of Americans, I hear a lot of talk from there. So we have like that idea of doing a lot of bore cutting. So we bore in front of this tree. I would bore in my face cut, and I would bore in from both sides, and I would wedge it up and cut the like a snap cut, I guess you'd call it, or something like that, where you just cut the last part in the end, and then you can wedge it over the pagoda. So I think I'm gonna wedge a bit here. But so I was doing that now and thinking, okay, I have this 661 and I got a 36-inch bar and chain to it, so I would try to do it the other way. So now I'm trying to do it the other way, and it makes no sense to me at all. But I guess it's because I'm not used to it. So I'll put you guys up here. So, while I'm cutting away here, I was thinking we could talk a bit about wedges and hammers. This is something I've been wondering a lot about. North American loggers use small hammers, only what I've seen, only like plastic wedges. I don't know how hard they are, but we use like aluminium wedges a lot, and some of us use plastic wedges. I always have them combined with me, so I can use a aluminium wedge on a heavy lift, and I can use a plastic wedge when it's easier lift. Like you see here, I can drive the aluminium wedge way harder than I can drive the plastic wedge, but the plastic wedge have per hit a higher lift if it's an easy wedge. And I don't get the small hammers. I just don't do it. Like, I use 3 kilos hammers. Everybody here use 3 kilo hammers. This is actually a 3.3 kilo hammer. I know there could be something about, you know, wedging in height, wedging on hillsides where you need to wedge in chest height or even in head height sometimes, but I do that also with this hammer, and I can wedge. I have done some long wedges with this hammer. Tried once because I was thinking like, oh, it must be nice walking around with it and it's not that heavy and stuff like that, and I don't get it. I cannot drive the wedges with it. I just feel like standing there hitting the wedges with a stick. Yeah, and also I don't like stacking wedges. We always try to have like small pieces of iron plate we use. So here you can see I opened the gap a bit, and then I use this small iron plate under my wedge, and therefore I can lift again with a new wedge without stacking. The aluminium wedges can bend if you stack with them, and actually we've broken aluminium wedges because of stacking. So I have these two different sizes, like 1 centimeter thick and a 2.5 centimeter thick iron plate on me in the small bag, and I just put them under, and I can, you know, work my wedge around how I need to use them. So yeah, as you can see, the chain runs only semi-good. It's a brand new chain, and every time I throw a new chain on, I think to myself, well, it's a new chain, I don't need to sharpen it. And every time I get disappointed. I know everybody knows this, but it cuts really bad. But then, generally talking about, you know, why we use shorter bars and all this, I have a feeling that I could fell the tree as fast with a shorter bar than I did with the big bar. And I have this feeling because I feel my 500 runs faster and more aggressive and better with a 20 or 25 inch bar as it does with a bigger bar. And I think it's something about like the amount of teeth, you know, digging in wood, so I can keep a higher speed on the chain with a shorter bar and a shorter chain. And this really comes out in hardwood like beech and stuff like that. So yeah, but just some thoughts here. And I think it's so, I don't have any like feelings against people felling trees other ways. It's really important for me to, you know, tell about this, that I'm not into like disrespecting anybody or stuff like that. I know people cut the way they cut because it makes sense where they are. It's like high stumps versus low stumps. We have a lot of machinery driving around in our forest. If I put a high stump, it would be in the way for relative small machines. We only use harvesters and like, yeah, I don't know even where you call that in English, but like punch buffalo, the picking up and driving out machines. So no skidders, no huge amounts of huge machines. We have some big machines working out here, but not like big skidders and stuff like that. So yeah, low stumps they can drive over and not being too annoyed about them. So yeah, and if you can make a high stump and it makes sense, so if everybody wants to cut up where you're standing upright and you have the all the good wood up there, good straight fibers running in, and no dirt. We have a lot of trouble by cutting into the dirt because we try to keep them as low as we can. So you can actually see here on the one side, you can see a bit of a brown pocket inside the tree where the tree meets up, and there's a bit of dirt in there. And you cut trees all day, you drive in those all day, and yeah, it will dull the chain definitely. We don't use different chains a day. We use the same chain all the time, and we just normally sit down like every second time we need to put gas on. Just touch it with the file. Nothing like really big, unless you of course hit a stone or something like that. But then just touch it up and make them perfectly sharp again, and it works fine. But yeah, would never put a new chain on. Yeah, if I really kicked the ass out of the chain, but otherwise I would never do it. Yep, and first thing to do when I cut down a tree here in Denmark is to get rid of the toes and what we call the beard. Like these trees are going to China. We sell a lot of actually quite bad quality tree out of Denmark to China. Big Sitka spruces who standing alone and a long time, big branches and stuff like that. We send them to China, and we have a lot of export of that kind of tree. We cut them so they fit in the containers, and of course there's a lot of containers coming from China to Europe and Denmark, and they're going empty back, so it's quite cheap to fill them up with tree instead of sending them empty. So just had some trouble getting through with the pirates and all that down in Yemen and stuff, places like that, but they're buying again now, and it's nice. So this is the end result. As you can see, this is for me actually a bit the high stump. I could get it maybe 10 centimeters, like what is that, 4 or 5 inches further down to the ground. But I'm really uncomfortable. Oh, not uncomfortable, but unused to use these big bars. I cut like 3 trees down in my whole career, like 10-12 years of felling. I maybe cut like 3 trees down with such a big bar and used it 3 times, and just bought this because sometimes we have like pretty massive trees, but this is a relative big tree for Denmark, so as you can see it's not like necessary in that way. So, and you can see I make a face cut that is like, I guess you call it conventional if you're a west coast logger. Not a Humboldt. We never use Humboldt. Very rare use Humboldt. Maybe if we're felling trees downhill, but then we would never use it otherwise. So therefore I use it because it's what I'm used to, and because I think I can get a lower stump with a conventional face cut, and it's our way of doing it, I guess. All this tree felling and talking about how to fell trees and blah blah blah, it's all comes down to traditions as I see it. Like what kind of tradition are you grown up into? And I'm grown up into doing this. And not using big bars. As you can see, I use the 500 with 20 inch bar, and I can use it with 25, maybe 28, but in hardwood it makes no sense because it's so hard on the chainsaw if you're filling beats all day with a big bar, and yeah, barber chairing, it's much more likely as I see it. So, but this is just a bit of fun. I just got this 661, and I only got like the outblow made bigger by a guy. First time I used it since. I don't see a huge amount of difference. And I think maybe this is full skip, and I guess I don't know if you can get like what you call semi-skip here in Denmark. It would be kind of a bitch to get hold on properly and be really expensive, but because nobody uses. So it would maybe have been better in this tree. I don't know. I never tried it, so I couldn't tell. But yeah, worked out fine. This hole I had to like ruin something, so I had to ruin a bit of that and a bit of that out there. You can see there's a new planting out there. Yeah, went well. Owner was happy. I'm happy. Now I'm gonna cut it up, and we make low stumps also because we're a small country so we don't send that much tree out. So therefore we get all the tree out we can get out. It's very important for us. So low stumps and stuff like that. And I know some say, oh, this first like half meter to a meter is shit tree. I don't care. We send it to China actually. We ship it all the way to China. We're gonna cut it in and put it into containers and ship it to China. So who do I care? Yeah, they get to work with it there. So yeah, hope it makes like. I'd love you to comment, but if you just comment to say, yeah, fucking idiots, everybody who's not West Coast faller is like totally ass. Like, don't. I mean, we live in such completely worlds. Like, logging for you over there makes some sense. Logging in East, like America, makes some sense. I guess the most people do what makes sense for that area. I guess I probably think in Australia they do it, have their own systems also. You know, it's all into the same plate, but it's a different kind of way of doing it. So, like, I would like to hear some rational thinking comments of people who actually know what they're talking about and stuff like that. That would be fucking sweet. Tell me something about your world. Bye.